Whatever the occasion, effortless elegance is right this way. Because Hilton brings you new ways to stay courtesy of the Nomad London. And it doesn't stop at award-winning dining in a space draped in velvet and illuminated by vintage chandeliers. No, this day goes beyond with unparalleled personalized service and attentive hospitality. Oh, and did we mention the Nomad London can be booked using your Hilton Honors points at Hilton.com? Hilton, for the stay.
So, you just started using LinkedIn Premium. Now what? Well, on your premium company page, you noticed around 7.5 times more page engagement and 5 times more page views. Well done. And now, new clients are messaging you. All because you're using LinkedIn Premium, which helps you get the business growth you want. Think big, small business. Think big. Start your free trial at linkedin.com/premium small business. That's linkedin.com/premium small business.
The new McCrispy Strip is here. Dip approved by ketchup, tangy barbecue, honey mustard, Sprite, McFlurry, Big Mac sauce, double dipped in buffalo and ranch, more ranch, and creamy chili McCrispy Strip Dip. Now at McDonald's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Welcome to another Finely Edge production for the Premier League Cricket Club. Connecting players and coaches, clubs and leagues, volunteers and supporters alike, you're in the right place for the best of the 33 ECB Premier Leagues and the 20 NCCA counties, bringing you the stories, the stats and the standout performances that make this game great. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button to both our Premier League and NCCA shows so you don't miss any episodes. Now, shall we get stuck in? So welcome everybody to the Premier League Cricket Show, and it is match week 5. 5 weeks of the Premier League up and running, and we're here again courtesy of our partners at B3. And joining me with his new B3 bat in the background, but as always sponsored by CricStats AI, Mr. Hugh Newsom. How you doing, buddy?
You're getting very good at that. Very smooth. Yeah, doing all right. Got a few runs with my new B3 bat at the weekend. So thanks to the lads at B3 for sorting my lad out as well. Very good.
Well, to break one bat in the family is one thing. To break 2 within a couple of weeks is bloody expensive, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, he's actually just broken a third as well, the young black. So
tell him to stop it. It's so hard. That's all I'll say.
He did hit it quite hard, but yeah, it's broken at the back though. Like it's gone down the spine. Yeah, it's very strange. Anyway, I've tried to glue it. It ain't happening. That one's wrecked. So
very peculiar. And joining us as always from CricX, Mr. Matt Taff. And can I just say, we can start talking Northern Premier League next week, mate.
Yeah, we can. About time.
Exactly.
Get rid of these pink balls.
Absolutely. Let's just get to it straight away before we forget it altogether. You had a bit of a win at the weekend in a little bit of a local derby in the League Cup, didn't you? And you didn't need Mumbai Indians bound Gleeson.
No, we didn't. We only needed 3 batters as well. It was a nice day out, to be honest. First local derby for me, so nice way to have my first one.
I'm sure Fleetwood will be ready for you when you get round to that league game again, and Mr. Siddle and Mr. Clerkin will be absolutely at it, won't they, to say the least?
Yeah, they sure will. But fingers crossed we can do. We've been playing about 6 times this year, so I'll see how we go.
Getting boring, eh? Boring. Also join us this week and our guest from one of the leagues. Now that we've got all the leagues up and running, bar the Northern Prem and the Dorset League, which kick off this weekend, we're going to have 5 or 6 leagues every week as our focus leagues and a guest from one of them. This week, from, I'm going to say it out loud, Hugh, the single most exciting end of season day in the whole of the country last year was the West of England Premier League, otherwise known as the WEPL. And joining us from Bedminster, Mr. Ollie Meadows. How you doing, mate?
Good, mate. Thank you for having me.
Dare I ask, how was that last day? Because, I mean, it was just ridiculous, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, absolutely. No, very exciting day. And, for us at Bedminster, we weren't really expecting to be in that position come the end of the season. And to I think we went 12 on the bounce, which was ridiculous. And then to have that chance was amazing. But, yeah, awesome day. Shame to miss out. But we sort of saw it as a massive positive, regardless of any of it, really. But
got to ask the big question: have you guys got a match official for this year to get those extra bonus points?
We don't. I'm not sure if that's still happening. You probably know more than me. But,
okay.
There was a lot of chat that that was going to be taken out.
It's still on the league table.
It's on the league table.
But whether it
must still be there.
Nobody's got any points yet, so maybe.
Yeah,
maybe not.
To be fair, no one's got any points, so maybe it has been taken out, and maybe we'll have to get someone for the West of England Premier League to confirm that.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, last year in the West of England Premier League, Potturn won the most ridiculous final day shootout. They beat Bridgewater by 2 points. Bedminster were a further point behind. You three then did sort of get a bit further away from Bath, didn't you? Because you gave Bath a beating on the last day, didn't you?
Yeah.
But there was 4 or 5 teams could have won it on that last day. And the other end of the table, because of these bonus points, Froster managed to stay up as well. So not only did it have an effect on relegation, but it had effect on the top of the table, which was quite incredible to say the least. So you guys, as you say, went on a right old run at the end of the season. I mean, that just closed off that whole gap, didn't it? How far down that run did you guys start going? Hang on, we've got something here.
It's a great question. I think, to be honest, we got off to a bit of a rocky start. Lots of new players came in, and we were sort of a team of individuals. And then, we've sort of progressed through the season, it all started to come together a little bit. But one of our lads, well, I say lad, Paul Mutchell, who's a very senior clubman, who's been around for years, just sort of said from the start, even when we were losing, like, we'll come good, and we'll chase the lads at the top. But for me personally, I'd probably say once we sort of 6 or 7 wins in and we beat a few big sides, then I sort of thought, oh, actually, we might cause an upset at one stage.
Absolutely. And let's get this straight. There are some monsters when it comes to sides in the West of England Premier League, aren't there?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of the clubs can bring out some serious sides. So it's very competitive. A
lot of fun. Your winter, Loughborough University.
Yeah,
and they're not playing for Loughborough in the university games. We spent a bit of time together.
Yeah,
just doing a bit of coaching, our level 2 coaching badges.
Hang on, you mean you spent some time together, Ollie showing you what to do?
Well, yeah, well, I was going to get to that. So we had Ben Martindale, James Hayes on the course, yourself, and then me. So we had the standard was very high and then very low. But you then went into a run of university games where I think you got a 90 against Kent, was it?
90 against Worcester.
90 against Worcester, 100 against Kent.
Yeah.
Did you get another ton as well?
I got 130 odd against Northampton's second team as well.
Oh, there we go. So we got a 90 and 100 against first class counties, the second team 100. So obviously everything that I taught you over those few weeks came good.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But I mean, what a ridiculous run of form. I mean, I was just looking at the scorecards, just keeping an eye early season, and you basically didn't seem to be able to get out for less than 90. I mean, what have you changed something? Is something just clicked, or is it just, you're just that good?
Well, people ask me, I've had a lot of questions saying, oh, what's changed and what, like, is it a mental thing or whatever? And I'm just sort of, I don't know. I feel like I've sort of started playing very freely at the minute. I felt as though previous years I've been very desperate to sort of get my name out there, really want to get some opportunity, try and earn myself a professional contract. And then sort of through this winter was sort of a bit like, I'm coming to the end of uni. Like, is this really, I need to be a bit realistic here? So I obviously love playing cricket. I want to play the best I can. And I just sort of went out there and just got stuck in. And it came off for me.
Has anything come of it? Is there, any noise about it all? I mean, these were good sides. They weren't, lads, rolling out their second team players in the first team. These were good sides you were playing against.
Yeah, no, absolutely. They were good sides. Nothing really's come of it. No. I've been asking around for trials, but nothing's come back as of yet.
I think it's quite interesting though, and this is just an observation outside in. Ollie's had a pretty decent start to the season with Loughborough in particular. Ben Martindale's had a pretty decent start to the season. Hugh, you've had a pretty decent start to the season.
Well, it's somewhat different levels, but yes, we can go with that.
It's all about levels.
There we go. Yeah.
What was going on that course over the winter?
I think it was Ollie. I think it was Ollie's sheer aura of being able to do literally anything well. So I did a wicket keeping session with Ollie. I was the wicket keeper. He was the guy who was standing in to be the wicket keeper. He made me look shit. John Dyson basically ended up coaching me and using him as the example. I'm the one who's been keeping wicket for the last 15 years. So I think it's just Ollie's aura has rubbed off on us all. We've all taken, his form together collectively into the season. So that's it.
Yeah, I was going to say, because it's not like Ollie's got many stumpings and runouts on his cricket. In fact, it's a grand total of 0. So it says a hell of a lot, that, doesn't it? But how's the West of England Premier League kicked off for you then, Ollie, generally?
Yeah, look, it's exciting. I mean, for Bedminster on a team now, we've won 2, lost 1. We lost to Bridgewater first game of the season, who brought out an absolute world 11, which was ridiculous. Smeed playing, who did nothing in the game. He wasn't required. Lintop played, and they've signed Alex Russell from the ex-Northants leg spinner. They're a stacked side when they can get them all out there. So that was a tough loss. Bit of a rude awakening in a way, coming off winning our last 12 games and then going bang, bowled up for 180, chase it down before drinks. Cheers, see you next week sort of job.
They chased it down in 24 overs, your 173.
Yeah, never enough for Bridgie, that. Never enough.
Without Will Speed actually batting.
Correct, yeah. So, yeah, tough start. And then we played Downend the following week, where we got Ollie Price came back in. Gloucester had a week off from the county champ, so he came available and got one of the best 150s I think I've ever seen.
Okay.
Played unbelievably. Him and Dylan Church, who's now at Dorset, I believe now. He wasn't. He's gone to Dorset. He got a lovely 100 as well. Yeah. Got on 360 at our place, which is a lot. And then Downend fell short by about 90 odd.
I was going to ask you about that game the previous week. Did you feel as though, in blunt terms, you missed out a little bit when Ollie Price has scored 149 off 81 balls?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I did feel like I missed out. What did I get? I got 30 odd. Set the platform and then gave it away big time. Caught deep square. Shocking. Got plenty of stick for that. But look, now I see club cricket is one of the some of the cricket I have played previously. It's all sort of how you go. Yeah. Whereas club cricket, you just want to see the 20 points that you can take the win home. So, no, absolutely buzzing really with that. And hopefully I can come good and get a big one myself in the coming weeks.
You talk about those names jumping, coming into the league. The Whipple seems to be really good at bringing in pros on their days off, sort of thing, more so than many other leagues around the country. Is that always been the case since you've been around, or is that something that's come in more recently?
I think more so. It's, if anything, they've come out a bit less, especially bowlers. I think bowlers don't see as much at all now with the workload saga that they have to deal with. But yeah, for us at Bedminster, we've got quite a few pros who are associated with us, and they love it. I think they love the environment, and sort of it's almost a break from being in the spotlight sort of thing in a way for them, I feel. But yeah, no, it's very rare you'll come up against a side on a Saturday without at least one.
Definitely.
And they seem to be more, and they seem to stick around longer than, some pros jump around different clubs. Obviously, they're professionals, they want to earn a living, but it seems like the Whipple pros seem to hang around and stay with the clubs for many years.
Yeah, no, it seems that way for sure. And hopefully it continues. I think it's a great asset that the league has.
Most definitely. Hey, let's have a look up and down the Whipple's results of the weekend, Hugh. Unbeaten at the top of the table. And I did say it week one, and I shall say it again. I think they're not a dark horse, but I think you've got to watch them. Bath, I think, were hurt last year, and to end up where they did on that last day of the season, I think they were hurt, and they've started the season like an absolute train, to say the least. But what else did you see in the results over the weekend there, Hugh?
There's a few interesting games, a lot of runs. As when we'll discuss it up and down the country, the Downend Bristol game, you're looking at 650 runs there. You're looking at 650 runs Potton, Thornbury, and similar up and down there. But yeah, the game of the day, probably the Bedminster Burbage game. 228, Burbage and Eastern Royal batting first in their 50 overs, and Bedminster, they got it in 6 down with a couple of less than over and a bit to go. Potton, Thornbury put up 339 all out. I mean, they were really going for it. Yeah. Morland Simon had a big go. Did he get any runs though? That's the big question, because he's not one for getting a huge amount of runs. Let's have a quick look. No, he got a not out though. He got a not out, but he got wickets. So my favourite batter 254 at the top there. Joe King, 47 for Potton in their chase. They got 291 chasing that. The Down End Bristol game, plenty of runs. Panchal 107, Dynan 99, and Shaw 3 for 62 for them. Is it Oliver Louch?
Yeah, Ollie Louch. Yeah,
Ollie Louch, 4 for 35 for Down End. Then the Bath with a big performance there. Sam Young 76 off 91 balls. They put up 285 in their 50, and Taunton got nowhere near it. Bowled out for 112. And there's the Bridgie game down the bottom, 155 for 2 against Froster. Froster posted 151 all out, so Bridgie got it very easily. James Regan 91, and Jake Lintop 52, with Matt Burton 2 for 13, keeping things tight.
Yeah, quite noticeable there. Taunton St Andrews without a couple of players there at the moment. Obviously, in particular the Rue brothers doing far greater and bigger things now, making a big difference there. Looking at your game though, Ollie, I mean, you guys were the top 4-5 got you guys all the way to where you needed to be. But then did it become a bit of a sort of a squeeze, to say the least, at the end?
A little bit, yeah. I mean, look, the top 4, we always have a chat and sort of say that we're gonna have to do the bulk of this, like set a platform. We almost don't really care about scoring any runs. We feel like if we just spend time in the crease, runs will come and we'll have a chance. But yeah, no, really good game on Saturday. I mean, I'm not sure if you guys have ever been to Burbage, but it's quite a small ground straight. The wicket has some demons in it at times. So it's fairly low scoring. We thought 220 was probably slightly above par there, to be honest. But yeah, no, I mean, me and Dylan set a platform. We both gave it away. And then Joe Phillips came in with Finn Hill. They both batted perfectly, really, for the scenario. Finn Hill especially get 60 odd, played some lovely shots, really sort of killed them. But then, to be honest, my standout performer for me was Matty Brewer. He got, what did he get? Just shy of 40 not out at the end when we needed 6.5s. Yeah. Just ran them ragged, just like running so hard.
I'm going to point out, you said the top 4, as long as you stay there, the runs are going to come. Joe Phillips had the highest strike rate of 81.36.
Yeah.
When Matty Brewer came in, and a little bit later Paul Mutchell was only in for 4 balls, but they then had strike rates of 115 and 125. Was that a case of you guys will stay, you'll get the runs, or actually, shit, these guys need to move on?
No, it's more, we obviously, Philo in particular, I think he's got gear 5, he can take anyone down, really. Yeah. In the hill the same, like Traeger came on towards the end where it's getting tight, and Finn played in perfectly, played some lovely shots, and
yeah,
I think, to be honest, the pace of the chase was perfect, like on a ground where you do sort of, you can plink it straight and you back yourself to hit that out the ground, really. I think that it was ideal on that wicket as well.
Chasing 228 to be 220 for 4 and then losing 2 very quick wickets.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of nerves come in, but
a little bit, for sure.
You had plenty in the bag there, definitely.
I felt so, especially with Muchie having played more cricket than the other 10 of us combined.
Most definitely.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. I don't know if you knew this, but anyone can get the same premium wireless for $15 a month plan that I've been enjoying. It's not just for celebrities. So do like I did and have one of your assistants switch you to Mint Mobile today. I'm told it's super easy to do at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
Hey, we've talked about the number of runs there in the Whipple at the weekend, Hugh. I'm going to jump to Matt at Cricket, and let's talk about your big performances over the weekend from the batters and the bowlers. But let's start with the batters, Matt.
Yeah, like you touched on, it was just runs galore this weekend, wasn't it? Well over 50% of our players got 50 or more, so proper weekend from our boys. But leading the pot with 185 was Ashan Randikar at Brook. I think he came for about 110 balls off the top of my head, so he's had a day out. Bryce Josie at Neston, proper innings. I'm sure you might mention him later on, but yeah, he went 160 off 140 balls, well over run a ball. and a proper knock for them. Missy Banks at Plymouth, a Canterbury females cricket, 150 off 78 balls. Holly Top, again, another New Zealand first-class female cricket, 148. Garnet Tarr at Salisbury, he's gone back-to-back 100 Saturday, Sunday. So we actually play them in a couple of weeks' time in the next round of the in the Lancs. Hopefully he kicks one early doors. Jacob Cumming, Beverley Town with his first 100 of the year. West Hearts, Callum Taylor, another 100 not out. No surprise there, he just churns runs all year. And then a young Canterbury former New Zealand under-19 cricketer, Brett Meyer. He got 111 off 33 balls on Friday night for Nelson in a T20. So he's had a day out on a Friday night there. But yeah, it was just runs galore this weekend.
Hang on, if you can do it on a Friday night in Nelson, what can you do on a Saturday though?
I think he got one and got stumped.
There you go. I rest my case. Friday night fun, big difference, isn't it? So turning to the Saturday though, Hugh, and around the country, and so, the big runs that are around. By my reckoning, and me and you've been exchanging some numbers over the last couple of days, I reckon there was 75 tons in Premier League cricket this weekend. Now, I don't know if that's going to be beaten throughout the whole season, because obviously the weather we're seeing might change a little bit. But we've got a big daddy at the top, haven't we, Hugh?
We have. I'll start with Bryce Josie, though. He's third, 160 off that 149 balls. 19-year-old South African. It amazes me, these South African guys. You don't hear about them, do you? They just pop up and they're absolute guns. And it's great when you get a lad who's like 19, keep a bat, into your side, into your club, just to keep an eye on them and see what they're going to do over the next 4 or 5 years. You just, the sky's the limit with these guys. They are such complete players when they come over. They're just ready to go, aren't they? But yeah, the top, Callum McLaughlin, Sleaford against Grantham. This was a hell of a game. We had a lot of runs here. We've got 387 for 8. Sleaford plays 373 for 6. Grantham chasing, they weren't far away chasing 387. Great performance from them.
What's your favourite phrase? They came off at half-time, smug 387.
Well,
They must have been a bit, squeaky bum time there.
Well, I mean, it's a hell of a performance. Callum McLaughlin there, 230 off 116 balls. I've had a look. He's a Kiwi first class player. He had a shocking end of the season for himself. His last few games, I think he went 0-4-2-7. Come over here, 230 off 116 balls, just made it look ridiculously easy. So I don't think we're going to see a quicker. Well, we're definitely not going to see a quicker double ton than that, possibly ever. But I wonder if that will be right up there towards the end of the season, one of the performances of the season. But Adam Jones at Sudbury in Suffolk, he's put up 161 not out against Frinton in the EAPL. He's started the season I was going to get my metaphors mixed up, like a house on fire, like a train running out. One of them, pick a metaphor, go for it. He's doing all right. He's leading the country in runs at the moment. After we didn't really notice him, but he's that big 161 put him at the top of the list off just 129 balls. There's Bryce Jose third, Rohan Memi, the Skelmanthorpe in the Huddersfield League. He's put up 145 over a runner ball. And Sam Elston, Sidmouth, 142, Prashant Kanduri, 141 not out off 112. I mean, the list goes on. And then there's a familiar name that I suspect you may want to pick out. Well, we've got 2 familiar names. Do you want to do them in?
Yeah.
10 and 11?
There's 4 names very close together in number 10, 11th, 13th and 14th at the weekend. So working from the bottom upwards, we talked to Teddy Casterton at the home counties. There's Chris Britt scoring 130 for Finchampstead.
Well, he didn't get many last week, but the game was abandoned because of a dodgy pitch from what we hear. So he might not be too happy with that one.
We all know the name in 13th place, Mr. Matthew McKiernan. 132 not out off 123 balls for Lee in Lancashire in the Liverpool District League. And then friend of the show, Noah Kelly's gone back-to-back with hundreds, 136 off 124 balls for Driffield in a brilliant game, which we'll come to a bit later. And then with 139 not out of 130 balls, last year's number 1 batter in the country, Bryn Llewellyn, Clifton Alliance, he's found his bat again.
That's ominous, that is, because he started pretty average at the start of last season. I mean, how he put those runs up last year with the conditions being what they were. So if he can if he can capture any of that form with the batting conditions now, wow.
Could be
so
interesting.
Watch out.
Definitely. Let's have a look at the bowlers then, Mr. Taff. What have your lot been up to?
Yeah, it's like you say, it was just runs, wasn't it? So they've had a bit of a tough slog, but again, top of the show is Oliver Tiwatia for Kimberley Institute, 6 for 21, and it won't be the last time we speak about him on the pod this summer, I'm sure. So, but then just a few sixers knocking about. Moabid at Duckingfield, Roman Sanjay at Colby, Kasun Madashankar at Sandal, and then, like you say, we've had Lewis Delport, Oxford Down, 5 for. But yeah, it was a very dominant display with a bat this week. And so a few forfers, but nothing to write home about. They've all done it with a bat.
Absolutely. Except for in a couple of areas where are in the national numbers, Hugh and I, we've got a couple of 8-fers this week, mate.
Yeah, well, Noah Priestley at Todmorden against Burnley. Burnley had a bit of a shocker there. It's almost like they could do with some really experienced players to come and help them out. Had a bit of
who might have just started bowling again.
Yeah, that would be great, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
You're always going to get the old boys back in, but Noah Priestley 8 for 14. I mean, yeah, there's quite a few wickets around the Lancs League. They sort of bucked the trend. The Lancs League did. There was plenty of wickets. So, yeah, Noah Priestley, 8 for 14. Hell of an effort against Burnley, bowling them out. Jamie Carrington at Sheffield Collegiate, 8 for 26 against Barnsley. Terrific effort from him. Sarangu Rajaguru, familiar name there, 7 for 30. First Walsall against Whittam. Henry Pearson, Woodlands, 7 for 52 against Methley in the Bradford League. Ben Walton, 757 for Newton Willows against Rainhill in the Liverpool comp. And then I mentioned Oliver Tiwatia there. He's going all right. He is at Kimberley, 6 for 21 against Attenborough. He's put up 21 wickets in the first team already for them at average of 8. So
absolutely
useful.
We'll talk about the Lancashire League shortly, but I've just got to point out for Burnley listeners, and we know there's one or two, they were bowled out for 53, and this is last year's league champions in Lancashire League, bowled out for 53 on Saturday by Todmorden with that 8-for from Noah Priestley. However, in the Lancashire Knockout Cup the following day, Burnley decided, hang on a minute, we've got to make good on this one. So they went out and scored 305 for 4 off their 45 overs against Holme in Cumbria, and then bowled Holme out for 38.
Well, we're all entitled to a bad day at the office, aren't we? Unless you're a surgeon.
Exactly. I mean, Burnley Cricket Club had the most topsy-turvy weekend you could possibly try to find. They will be up there at the end of the season without a doubt. Matt, I know you've got to go shortly, but we've got to mention what's coming up in a couple of weeks' time. We have got the first Cricket game of the summer, haven't we?
We do, and it's set to be a pretty impressive one, to be honest. So, 2nd of June. So we've got a Asia 11 where KS Bharat is leading the troops, and then a Southern Hemisphere 11 where Cam Fletcher will be leading the show there. But more details will be announced across social media this week. But if you are around the area, it'll be held at Bishop Stortford Cricket Club. It'll be definitely one to sneak off work or do anything to come down and watch that game.
Absolutely.
And hopefully KS Bharat doesn't get run out this week, because it's a good job that's not live streamed, because whoever ran him out, and I forget who it is now, I can imagine the Indian ultras getting a bit grumpy. You've got your big superstar coming in and you've run him out for 4. Not good work. But let's hope it was his fault.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. We'll be there, Matt. We'll look forward to that. And I can't wait to see. I mean, some of the names we've talked about on the show that are going to be there. Yash Kathari, obviously KS Bharat, Sumit Ruika. If we get Summit down there, I mean, that'll just be a pleasure, won't it? Casey Cariappa potentially might be down there. Ooh. Obviously, if Cam Fletcher's not there, we've got a problem. It's his home club. Matt Campbell, Olbin Tuatia, Fergus Lellman driving down, unfortunately, not playing by the sounds of it. Gareth Severin, he'll be there because he's just round the corner from Bishop Stortford as well. So, whatever happens, we're going to have an absolutely fantastic game. We're being told at the moment, 35 overs, pink ball, and I'm guessing that your boss has probably had to buy quite a lot of pink balls.
Yeah, I think we've had to stock up, to be honest. I think my day will just be spent running around local houses and roads picking the ball up, but I might miss a fair bit of the action. But it's like you say, it's going to be one hell of a game.
Absolutely, be great stuff. We'll be reporting from there without a doubt, definitely. I'll let you go, Mr. Taff. I know you've got other things to do today. Enjoy, and we look forward to maybe mentioning the Northern Premier League next weekend when you lot get out of your beds and actually play some league cricket.
Yeah, I know. Best get past 20 as
Absolutely.
well.
All the best, mate.
Cheers, guys.
My cat Freddie loves to be brushed and cuddled. But stirring up his cat allergens meant sneezing and itchy eyes. Then I found Purina One Live Clear. It's cat food that reduced the major allergen and my suffering in as little as 21 days. Now, we feel closer than ever. If you have issues with cat allergens, you really need to try Purina One Live Clear.
Try new Purina One Live Clear today. Purina One, a difference from day one.
Coming back to the West of England Premier League, Ollie, yeah, we've talked already about these professionals. It does seem that it's very heavily loaded to local professionals versus overseas boys coming in, doesn't it?
Yeah, no, absolutely. There's a rule in the league. You play X amount of games before you sign a contract. It's like 8 or 9 or something. You then count as a homegrown player, and then that means that they don't count as a pro. So Joe Phillips for us doesn't count. So that means we can play either Finn Hill at Somerset or Ollie Price.
Yeah.
But that goes around for every club. I mean, Bridgewater do it really well. They've got very close links with Somerset and likes of Ogbourne, Smead. They had Ned Leonard before he went to Glamorgan.
About it, but maybe moan slightly more constructively about it.
Absolutely. Hey, let's look at one of the leagues up north. Let's go all the way up to the top, shall we? Go to the Lancashire League, where we've already talked about Burnley and they're not very good day, shall we call it, on Saturday against Todmorden. Well, first and foremost, Lancashire League, thank you for playing on a Saturday. We do appreciate that. It always helps us, doesn't it, Hugh? But what else did you see up there on Saturday, mate?
Yeah, well, it's the opposite of what's happening pretty much everywhere else. With give or take a few games, wickets, plenty of them. Ramsbottom bowled out for 114, although Clitheroe got it very, very comfortably in just 13 overs. Madhav Kaushik, 98 off just 52 balls. Sam Halstead, 6 for 46. Great effort there. Radiohead frontman Tom York Robinson, 23 for Ramsbottom. Darwin Littleborough. Darwin put up 163 for 9 in 50 overs. You know, tough going there. And Littleborough bowled out for 96 in 32. Bryce Parsons, 24 for Littleborough and 3 for 35 as well. But yeah, the sub-pro, Rishabh Tiwari, 5-4. And it's got off my screen. 5 for not a lot. Is about as best I can do there. Haslund and Rochdale was a bit different. Both made it past 200. Haslund posted 274 for 8 in their 50 batting first. Neil Brand, who is ex-South African captain, I believe, left arm and pretty useful all-round cricketer, 111 and 5 for 52. So Rochdale didn't get close, but still made it past 200. 204 all out in 42 overs there. Lower House chased down just Walston's 150.
Tight game.
Really tight game. Lower House got it 9 down with 6 overs to go. Really good game there. Joe Gale for Walston 4 for 57, not 9 for 57, 4 for 57.
Walston had Lower House at 63 for 8 when they were chasing 150. So to get those runs, and Patrick and Joe Martin right to the very end, wasn't it? And one of our old favourites, Dushan Vimukti, taking 3 wickets there for Walston as well.
There's a surprise. Thomas Walker, 5 for 53 for Lower House. So yeah, really good game that. And another tight game, got Norden Middleton. Norden posted 257 and Middleton couldn't quite get there, 251. Jermaine Blackwood, 86 off not too many. And Rehan Adwadia, 76 for Middleton in that, off just 81 balls. James Price, 72. Great support for him. James Tierney, 3 for 64. And then the last game there, the one game we mentioned, Burnley all out 53, batting first. And Todmorden got it very quickly after 8 overs, 55 for no wicket.
I don't think our friends at Burnley would fancy us mention it anymore. We'll leave it at that.
No, apologies.
Without a doubt. So, Ollie, I find it fascinating week in, week out talking to people around the league. We talk about the ridiculous amount of runs in the Whipple over the last couple of weeks. And then you just hear us waffle on about the Lancashire League where it's tight and it's hard. I mean, that game between Lower House, 90 overs between the two of them, less than 300 runs.
Yeah.
But a real proper game of cricket. Do you ever have that thought of, fancy challenging myself in that sort of league?
That's quite a long way from me to go all the way out there. But to be honest with you, I love the Whipple. I love what it's about. I do really enjoy it. And I find it's really competitive cricket. And I do love it. I mean, you talk about the runs. I mean, there's a lot of, on play cricket, you see all these massive scores. But then when you're there, you'd think, oh, wow. Potton, for example, I don't know if you've been, very small ground. Thornbury to an extent is short, straight. I mean, every ground is pretty short. Well, short, straight, short everywhere. And really, which I think is a massive factor for the run scoring. But equally, there's some very good wickets in the league.
How do you go jumping between, the stuff you've been playing with Loughborough, on first class quality strips and things? How, are you adjusting your game between the two structures, formats?
Yeah, well, I'm trying my hardest. I mean, it is difficult. I mean, Loughborough, we're very fortunate. I mean, the 2 grounds we've got there are unbelievable wickets. For me, some of the best I've played at. And they're also very small grounds. And then I come back to Bristol on a club wicket, and they're not to the same standard. So I do have to adjust big time. And it isn't easy. And it's almost one thing that I've sort of been thinking about is facing professional bowlers on good wickets. And then you go to club bowlers who are probably sometimes even 20 mile an hour slower sometimes. And you like, how does that impact what I'm trying to do? I mean, I like to try and use the pace. I'm a very square player. So then when the pace is taken away, it is quite challenging for me. And I'm trying to figure out a plan to this day.
Don't give the game away.
Well, no, they all know that anyway.
Absolutely. I think it is fascinating because last weekend I was working at Edgbaston, and they had a square. It's a big square at Edgbaston, but they had a strip, as far away from where we were in the score box as they possibly could be. And I was so intrigued by it that at lunch on the second day I went and walked and stepped out from the strip to the boundary, and to the RES Wyatt stand, it was 60 metres. To the Hollies side, I didn't bother because I reckon it was 120. It was literally one extreme to the other. And it's fascinating watching these pros then, whether they be a batter or a bowler, having to play with that, because they're not always in that centre strip with a perfect strip, are they? That's the difference, isn't it, for you guys?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we always sort of say, you're sort of, well, in the Whipple anyway, you're 3 balls away from 18, really. Like, and it's not like you're taking massive risks there. And it's sort of playing, not getting sucked in per se, like thinking, oh, it's only a 40-yard hit, but sort of thinking, oh, wow, that's fine, they're allowed to bowl well. If they bowl 3 bad balls, we're flipping that instantly. So yeah, no, absolutely. It is funny how you sort of go about it. I mean, Loughborough as well, you sort of wish it's short, straight, wider, square. You find bowlers just end up bowling that back of a length and saying, I'm happy you whacking me to deep square. I'll take my chances that way, but I won't necessarily pitch it up.
Absolutely. Let's talk runs then, and let's go across to one of the other leagues here. Let's get over to that biggie in Lincolnshire. We've got to start with that Sleaford Grantham game you've already talked about. I mean, 387 for 8 off 50 overs, even by Whipple standard, you'd be bloody jealous of that, wouldn't you? 387 for 8. I'm not sure which side I'd rather be on with 5 overs to go there, Hugh, as Grantham chase it down and get within 14 runs. I mean, the nerves on that game must have been incredible, mustn't they?
Yeah, I mean, they just went along the whole way through. I think that there's a slightly tight period, 40 over 41 over 42, even 43, 44, where they just managed to, Hibberd and Lambert just sort of held it back a bit. One over went for 3 with a wicket, one went for 2 with a wicket, and those 2 wickets and those 2 overs were crucial to just hold him back, Grantham's charge there. So that was where the game was possibly won just at the end there. But yeah, unbelievable game. Obviously, Callum McLaughlin with 230 off no balls at all. I mean, to be fair, not many other people got runs in that. He did a lot of it on his own, which is a terrific. Thomas Stephan with a great bit of support. It's 50 off 29.
Exactly, that's the one I'd point out to you. When Callum McLachlan went at 303 for 7, and that's still a long way off 387. They were very lucky to have Thomas Stephan come in then and hit 50 off 29 balls. Otherwise, they wouldn't have even got close to that, would they?
absolutely. But I mean, Grantham's cards are a lot tidier, shall we say.
Yeah.
It's safe 114 off 87. Then we got 30. Kandil Hadir, it was such a great season last year, going well again, 59 off 67. And then Sakhumzi Ndala, we'll pronounce that one. Let me have another go at that.
Sakhumzi, he's at Loughborough with me.
Oh, there we go. Sakhumzi. Is it?
Yeah.
What's his heritage?
It's a great question. I couldn't tell you. I just know he went
African.
Over here for quite a while. He went to school here.
Fantastic.
A hell of a cricketer.
So Sakhumzi, there we go. Go on, Ollie, you said Sakhumzi.
Sakhumzi, yeah.
What's his surname?
Ndlela.
Yeah, Sakhumzi Ndlela. There we go. 114 off 72. Fantastic knock from him. And then, they just very, very nearly got it done. But, just lost crucial wickets at crucial times. But it's on the video there if anyone wants to have a look. What has been lovely this year, just jumping around the leagues, there's so many more streams. Obviously, MV Play help us out as well. Big thanks to them. And there's a lot more people with cameras this year than last year. And last year there was plenty. So it's brilliant to be able to just jump into games.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
not the one of KS Barrett getting run out. Unfortunately, there was a camera, but it wasn't switched on.
Oh, no comment.
Conspiracy theory.
The interesting thing to point out is, apart from Spalding's 167 all out, every other team in the league hit 200 plus, with, I'm just looking, 1, 2, 3, 4 scoring 300 plus, and Burley Park at 296. Just runs left, right, and centre in Lincolnshire, mate, at the weekend.
Absolutely. I mean, there's just Josh Smith, 76 for Market Deep, in William Wright, 93. Venera Dulcera, 49. And it's a great card for Netlham, just spread out there, but they didn't get a win, but there were lots of spread out runs. Burley Park, Pete Foster, 99, not out. That's definitely jug avoidance. Just loads there. Grimsby lost out to Bracebridge Heath. Bracebridge 302, bowled Grimsby out for 205. Netlham out for 220. Burley Park got there. Bank first got 296 for 8. Market Deeping, Lyndon was a really good game. Lyndon put up 306 for 9 in their 50. Market Deeping very, very nearly got there. Really great chase from them. Didn't manage it. Scunthorpe, Bourne, another relatively tight game. Bourne put up 256, and they had them 5 down. Could have gone either way with a few more wickets there. The Sleaford Grantham game we talked about, and then Woodhall Spa at Spalding was the only really, potentially lopsided game, with Woodhall Spa 236 for 9 and Spalding out for 167. Harry Holdingsworth, 55 there for them. Matt Carter, 5 for 31. Still getting plenty of wickets.
Absolutely. I think you point out Peter Foster there with 99 not out for Burley. That was the one of 2 at the weekend, scoring 99, which we always like to point out. First 2 of the season, I think, with Josh Dinnan at Bristol was the other 99, playing against Downhill down your way, Ollie, in the Weppels. We do like to point out these people who got to 99 and completely avoided the jug, even more than you did at the weekend, Mr. Newsom. I'm allowed to get out. Ollie, just talk about the Weppel there. Young players, anybody coming through that's maybe not necessarily putting the numbers up that's caught our eye. Is there anybody we should be looking out for other than the Rue family?
Yeah, that was the first thing I was going to say. Thomas Rue in particular. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. I mean, he's still got another year at school.
Yeah,
it is ridiculous. Really good cricketer. The only other one that springs to mind is Zaman Shafi, who's at Downend. He got 90 odd, I think, on Saturday. He's on Gloucester's academy. Looks a really, really tidy wicketkeeper batter.
Nice.
Will be the one I'd mention.
I mean the Rue family there. I mean, you got James Rue's called up by England.
Yeah,
I've mentioned it before in this, but I just assume he's like 28. He's 20. Is he 22?
He's a year below me. So what's he now? He'd be 20. He'd be 20, turning 21 or 21 already.
So he's a year below. James Rue's a year below you.
Yeah.
Jeez. I mean, he flew onto the scene. He's got hundreds galore. He seems to be a slightly more old-fashioned kind of player. He's not necessarily your modern blasting kind of player. He looks to be a real good red ball player. Not necessarily in the Bazball mould. Do you think he'll go okay?
I think he'll be absolutely fine in that. I know he doesn't. He's not a whacker per se. He doesn't hit the ball out of the ground, but he can hit it far enough for me. And I also think he's got his own sort of methods with that, like his sweeps, his reverse sweeps. a very, very, very talented player. I think he'll have no problem with the whole.
We got to ask one question about the Roux brothers.
Yeah,
and we're going to have it on record from Ollie Meadows and the Whipple. Which one will get the most England cap?
Oh, it's a great question. Oh, I'm going to go with Tom Roux. I don't want to because I know James far better, but I'm going to go with Tom Roux because I think.
I think basically everybody at his club says he's the worst player in his family. So
yeah,
and he's an England player.
Yeah. I mean, James is phenomenal. But from what I just thinking about where James was when he was Tom's age, I think he wasn't bullying second team cricket. And not to say he wasn't putting in some really good performances, but I think the way you just watch the videos on MV play and you just think, my word, he's taken apart professionals and he's not even done his A-levels yet.
It's remarkable, isn't it?
You're the perfect blend of elegance and style, and your ride should be no different. The 2024 Hyundai Sonata Hybrid meets all your needs, from business to brunch and everywhere in between. With head-turning details like a sleek front end, plus stylish interior, and an available 12.3-inch digital instrument cluster and seamless tech integration. Okay, Hyundai. Visit HyundaiUSA.com to learn more about the new 2024 Hyundai Sonata Hybrid.
Let's go and talk about one of the other leagues that we enjoy. It's probably up there in our top 3 or 4 leagues without a shadow.
We don't have favourites.
I do, without a shadow, because it depends on what's going on. Obviously, if a league's tight, it's our favourite. And one of our favourites last year, and we talked about it a couple of times this year, is the Yorkshire Premier League North, where we've already mentioned him in the top runners, batters. Bryn Llewellyn has come to the party and he has started scoring runs. Noah Kelly, a couple of back-to-back hundreds for Driffield now. But that league looks tough this year, and that game in particular was a cracker, wasn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. So Driffield, Woodhouse, Grange, we talked about it there. Woodhouse put up 290 for 8 in their 50, and Driffield got it off the last ball, essentially. Just looking at the ball by ball here. Yeah. For me, there was a couple of overs when Noah was batting. Noah got out in the 46th over, but he took down Zach Wilson. In the 44th over, he got 19. He went 4, 6, 6, 2, 1, and then pretty good 45th over, and then even the over he got out, he went 6-4. Then he was out. So I think he really, really nailed down the chase. The lads came in; they didn't have too much to do. They still had plenty, but not too much to do. Nick Hardgrave got the job done. 10 off a couple of balls in their 48th were crucial. But yeah, really, really good game of cricket, and that's what we love. We love tight games of cricket, don't we? Jumping down, Harrogate Clifton Alliance, another decent game of cricket. Harrogate posted 269 for 8 in their 50. I think they would have been reasonably happy with that, and then Clifton got it actually relatively comfortably 6 down. Isaac Light 87 from 94 for Harrogate. Ishan Abisekara 4 for 74, but Bryn there 139, not out, but didn't get a huge amount of didn't get loads of help, but was able to do it on his own. Anytime Bryn's going, he's gonna win the game for you. Samuel Grant 4 for 43. Holzingari bowled out for 160. They did really well last year. I don't think they've started quite so hot this year, but Castleford batting first, 214 for 7. Callum Rowe 55. Scott Hopkinson 40. Solid card from them. David Wainwright 5 for 27. As is things. Knaresborough, they got bowled out for 233, chasing 260 against Beverley. Blake Weymouth 77 for them. Jacob Cumming 115 off 132 for Beverley, and George Wiley 559 and 42 off not many balls not out. So a great all-round performance from him. And then Sheriff Hutton Bridge York 236 for 7, batting first. Big tail. Sheriff Hutton Bridge weren't able to chase that down. Harry Sullivan 55 for York. Alex Jenkins 53. David Brent 4 for 43. But Mark Fisher 41 for Sheriff Hutton Bridge, and and wickets as well. So a good performance from him. But yeah, they weren't able to depose at York.
Yeah, and I think York, I personally think, got away with that one a little bit when you look at their card. 31, 22, 0, 0, 5 and 6 getting 34, 53. You're relying on your number 8 getting 55 there with Harry Sullivan. So yeah, I think when you've got Mark Fisher coming in, taking wickets there, and as you say, scoring runs, I think, didn't he, in that game? Yeah, I think they might have just got away with that one a little bit. But kudos to Castleford, top of the league of the Yorkshire North, only unbeaten side there. But York are right behind them. That league's going to be tight all the way to the end, I believe. And I think if you want to see a league where anyone will beat anyone, it's going to be the Yorkshire North League without a doubt. Let's jump down south a little bit further than that. Let's go almost a little bit more local to me and you, mate. Let's do the North Staffs and South Cheshire League. This is another fascinating league where you look at the runs and you go, is anyone going to score any? Yeah, if you get over 200, the chances of winning in this league just exponentially go far greater, don't they?
Well, they just need to rename it the Liam Banks League, really, don't they? I mean, it's every week. I'll start there. Hemheath playing Stone. Stone 173 all out. Liam Banks 3 for 17. Hemheath 174 for 2 and 30 overs. Liam Banks 80 not out. And I mean, that's just, that guy is incredible. And particularly, as people have told us, the wickets are never, I don't know whether the wickets, scoring runs is difficult in this league, and you can see it every week. Yeah. 200's a good score in the North Staffs South Cheshire League, and Liam Banks just makes it look easy. So it'd be fascinating to see, how he goes this year, and if he can just keep this ridiculous run of form going, as he, well, he will, won't he? Start at the top. Alisgar. I can never pronounce it. Go on. Alsager. There we go. Alsager versus Newcastle and Hartshill. Manraj Jahal 71 for Alsager, 206 all out, chasing 267. Andrew Whitehead 70 for Newcastle and Hartshill. It's a good performance from them. Sach Ithra Pereira 4 for 41. Audley JG Meakin batting first, bowled out for 100, and Audley got it pretty comfortably. 5 down in 24 overs. Freddie Dorbar 38 there, and Robert Hemmings 5 for 17. Great effort from him. Not a huge amount of batting from J.G. Meakin there. Hemheath we talked about against Stone. Leek, Checkley batting second, chasing 219 from Leek. Sam Slater 104 from Leek. They finished just 20 odd runs short. Michael Allen 40 or 49. Jack Farrington 3 for 36 for them. Lewis Moulton 3 for 27 for Leek. Matt Campbell 3 for 27 as well. A couple of 3 for 27s. There we go. Moddershall and Alton, Bagnall Norton. Moddershall 200 for 6 in their 45. Bagnall got it relatively comfortably 4 down. Arjun Anamalai 67 off 84. And Joseph Wally 2 for 30, Anuj Tiwari 75 off 79, and Morgan Murray Williams 2 for 25 for Bagnall Norton, 50 for Matthew Kenvan as well. And then the last one, Porthill Park batting first, 183 for 8. Longton got it 7 down with 7 overs or so to go. Jack Even 58 off 59, and Tom Hope 58 for Longton off 68 balls, and also 3 for 19. Good all-round performance from him.
Yeah, I mean, well done there to Longton in particular. They lost the first 3 games this season, were bottom of the table. So to go to Porthill and get that win, congratulations. That was a great one. Tom Kesteven and Jack Kesteven. I've got to point those names out in the Porthill side, because yesterday, another Kesteven, Tilly Kesteven, made her professional debut for Lancashire in a women's game up at Blackpool. And as always with Tilly, she hit one of her first balls for 4. I had great pleasure of being around Tilly and the challenge when she's been with the Challengers group over the last few months. Cracking young lady, cracking striker of the ball, so well done to her. And the other one I want to point out from that league, he didn't get any wickets on Saturday. Rory Hayden from Leek. In fact, he got bugger all, full stop. But last week got a fifer. His first fifer for Derbyshire Twos. Now, it's interesting we talk about bowling and them being allowed to bowl Ollie there, isn't it? Because the week before, Rory had played Twos cricket for Derbyshire. Staffordshire, they went to Leicestershire to play T20s, and he was not allowed to play. They told him, if you play for Leek at the weekend or Staffordshire, you do not bowl. But then he came out on the Monday and took a fifer for Derbyshire. The restrictions are there, aren't they?
Absolutely, yeah. And look, you can, from a club perspective, you're like, oh, seriously? Like, I mean, especially the the older guys at the club are back in my day. We just bowled and bowled and bowled and bowled, and it's like, yeah, fair enough to them. They need to look after their bowlers. I mean, good seamers in the professional game are quite rare. So
it is. Now you're a batter, but I'm going to ask you a question anyway. I think we need to get an old time bowler on to talk about this, Hugh. What is the difference out there? Because all of those bowlers who bowled and bowled and bowled back in the day, I don't ever remember hearing them breaking down like they do these days, and they're told to hold the workloads, basically. Do you hear any difference from people when you're talking to them around the grounds?
Well, I mean, I sort of see people. It depends on the age of the person you're speaking to. I genuinely believe that. Like, I speak to some of the senior guys. Machi just bowled and bowled and bowled, but now
you read my mind.
he works at Gloucester, doesn't he? And I think he also, what I get from him is that he completely gets what they're trying to do. And it is an interesting take on bowling less. Sort of has created more injuries. Maybe I don't know. You don't know the stat. I don't know the stats. Like, you don't know whether that's true or not. You just sort of got to trust them, really. And
absolutely.
Well, I suppose they've got the science is much more collated now, isn't it? The recording, the way things are recorded is much better. So there's a lot less anecdotal evidence, and there's a lot more collective evidence that you can fall back on. Hopefully, that's the right data that they're using. But I mean, you've got Scrimshaw. I've just seen him bowling yesterday, and was he in twos cricket yesterday? Was he? I forget who he was playing. Well. He's been on the wrong end of an awful lot of injuries. He looked like he was bowling sharp yesterday, so he's ready for T20 Blast. So, and do you know what? He looks, compared to how he looked, a year ago, he looks good.
He took a fifer for Northants twos last week, and he took 3 yesterday in T20. He looked as sharp as I've seen anyone on twos cricket.
And I mean, the ball coming down from the height comes down from there, but his run-up looks better, everything looks better. So maybe wrap him up in these bowlers in cotton wool for a bit, and they get their maximum value. So maybe back in the day, they, bowling at 75, 80 a lot of the time, because there wasn't the cameras around, there wasn't the performance reporting. Just going back to, we talked about Tom Roux there, and the Roux brothers coming through. What was your pathway through, Ollie, at the cricket? When did you start? Was it school? Was it club? What was your pathway through?
Well, my old man, massive cricketer. I hate to say it, but he was a decent club player. He did all right, or so I'm told.
Rumour has it, it's that type of thing.
Rumour has it. I don't quite believe it. We'll see whether that's true or not. But yeah, no, he got me involved from when I was a real youngster, probably almost 6 or 7, 8. And then, loved it. Kept playing. I started at Somerset. Played age group cricket from under 10s through to sort of under 16s. And then sort of realised James Roux's pretty good at what he does. Tom Banton's pretty good. Goldsworthy is also a very good player. People like that. Sam Young as well was also at Somerset at the time. And obviously Will Smead. So their academy was stacked when I was trying to sort of get anywhere near it. And I wasn't good enough to get anywhere near it at that stage. So I parted ways with them, went to Gloucestershire, and improved a lot once I got there. I kicked on with Gloucester, got some second team opportunities, did okay, and then missed out on a contract, came to Loughborough, and that's been me for the last 4 years.
The question I want to ask on the back of that, though, Ollie, is, and it intrigues me. Last year I watched the Challengers play against Leicestershire, give them a hammering on day one, run them very close on the second T20 game, and then the third game they got a bit of a beating. And I put a lot of it down to the fact that the Leicestershire lads are training 5-6 days a week, being coached 5-6 days a week, whereas the Challenger lads all have jobs and they're getting How much of a difference did you find once you got into that Gloucester environment and getting it on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah, look, I mean, I've from when I was a real youngster, I've not been short of practice. I've not been short of coach. I've been very fortunate in that regard. And then when you get into the county setup, it's great. You're hitting balls all the time. You're talking about it all the time. How can I make myself better? Like you get everything you needed. Well, I did from my perspective as an academy player. Shame I couldn't transition onto the staff, but it wasn't meant to happen. And then I've come to Loughborough, and Loughborough is obviously an amazing sports university, and plenty of opportunity there as well.
What's the focus at Loughborough? Is your focus cricket with, some kind of things in the background, or are you having to actually be quite studious?
You probably have sort of. It's definitely cricket. Study on the side. Obviously, the studying ramps up a little bit during exam seasons and deadlines and whatever, but it's very cricket focused. Especially,
and are you able to get loads of coaching as part of that?
Yeah. Look, we've got coaching staff. I mean, the one thing I'd probably say is that with Loughborough, you sort of you're young adults, and it's sort of more self-led in a way. Obviously, you still have those good conversations where you're talking about batting or bowling and where you want to be, get opinions from other people, other coaches, and even other players. But it's more of, this is what I want to get out of my winter. This is what I think I need to improve in order to break into the professional game. And then Loughborough sort of try and facilitate that, if that makes sense.
Fantastic. Sounds like a great setup.
Yeah, and I've watched Tilly Kesterman is at Loughborough.
Yeah.
And that says, you're aware of that. And obviously she's got a professional contract. Tom Hindley at Loughborough. Yeah. The cricket programme there is of a different level to what else is going on in a lot of other universities, isn't it?
Yeah, look, you got Loughborough, like all the UCCEs, so Cardiff, Leeds, Bradford, Durham are probably four main ones I'd mention. Oxford Brookes, but yeah, you get all the guys sort of like me in a way who were played on the academy at counties but missed out. And there's lots of good cricketers there. Obviously Loughborough's facilities, I'd like to say, would probably outdo a lot of the other unis, but still plenty of good cricketers.
Banchjani. I mean, he's got a contract off the back of. I mean, did you open the batting with him? Was he a batting partner start this summer?
Yeah. So Banchi joined us this year. He's first year at Loughborough. He was at Middlesex, I believe. And yeah, what a cracking player and a great human being as well, but thoroughly deserved. I mean, the start he's had, you mentioned that I've had a good start. He's blown that out of the water.
He's done all right, to say the least, without a shadow, definitely. So coming towards the end of this recording, Hugh's asked you about your pathway to where you are now. If you had that crystal ball looking forward for the next 2-3 years, where does that go for you, Ollie Meadows?
I mean, I'm graduating from Loughborough at the end of this year. I'm planning to go out to Sydney, go out to Australia, play cricket out there, give cricket probably this year. And then
got nothing to do with the Ashes being out there this winter, obviously.
Absolutely nothing, but I will be at the Boxing Day test.
You've got your tickets sorted already?
I believe so, yeah. They're in the works. But yeah, I think I'd probably give it. I'd love to. I think I'd like to try and give it a go, just so that when I'm older, I can sort of rest easily in a way. Sort of, I gave it my shot, but equally, I think it's a very hard route now, especially now I'm out of the system. I think it's very difficult to get those opportunities. I mean, I've been asking around, and this, especially as a batter, I think it's very hard to get those second team games, those opportunities. But yeah, I'm sort of going day by day in a way, to be honest with you. I'm not putting any pressure on it whatsoever. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen, but we'll see.
Mate, your off spin was class. I think you just need to transition to an all rounder. And your leg spin was class. I mean, your keeping was class. You've got three other options there.
Hang on. Let's call it a day on that one. He's got nothing on play cricket for his stumping, so he's definitely never wicket kept in his life. And I did notice he's not bowled a bloody ball for 3 years in the Premier League, have you?
Yeah. Correct. And I'm not planning on bringing them back either.
So what's the Sydney trip? Have you got a club lined up? Are you good to go?
At the moment, it still needs firming things up. I've got a call tomorrow, but it looks like Sydney Uni Cricket Club.
Ooh, big guns.
Very, very looking forward to it. So yeah.
Very nice.
Hey, been great having you on today, Ollie, and talking all things Weppel. We're sure we'll be back in the Weppel at some point this year. For those who are listening, there's 33 leagues. Hugh and I are pretty good, as most people know now, but we're not that bloody good, are we, Hugh? We can't cover 33 leagues every single week. So we're going to keep it down to about 4 or 5 or 6, depending on what's been cracking off. Next week, I can tell you now, our guest will be from the Birmingham League. That's the only league I'm going to tell you that we're working on. We might have to do the Northern Prem, Hugh, since they've got their arses into gear next week. But, we've got to concentrate on 4 or 5 leagues. If anyone's out there from a league in particular and you fancy come and join us, we have a very simple criteria. Number 1, not be afraid to be asked questions. Number 2, know your league. know your players, know what's going on, because guess what? We know quite a lot, but it's always better to hear it firsthand, isn't it, Hugh?
Well, hopefully know a lot more than me. So yeah, anything, if you're on, use me as the low bar, you as the medium bar. So if you can go above that bar, that's even better.
We're not doing bad, are we, without a shadow? Hey, great to have you on today, Ollie, and look forward to seeing how you go during the rest of the season, mate.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thanks, Ollie.
Cheers, guys.
Thanks for joining us at the Premier League Cricket Club. We'll be back soon with more from the world of Premier League and NWCA cricket. But in the meantime, don't forget to subscribe, leave us a review and follow us wherever you get your socials. Or maybe check out our website, premierleaguecricket.co.uk, to stay updated. Until next time, have a good one.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
At Arizona State University, we've made online education better, smarter, and more personalized so you can go further in your aspiring field.
I decided to pursue medicine once I realized that ASU did have the online program for biological sciences. You're still required to learn the same curriculum. You're still being tested on the same content that anyone would be tested on in person. The comprehensiveness of the program prepared me so well for medical school.
Explore over 300 programs at asuonline.asu.edu.